Alright, anybody who has a 2016 Scion TC with this older OEM brake light, I'm going to show you guys how you get to this thing and replace it. There's nothing wrong with this. I'm just replacing it with a aftermarket one. Here's the aftermarket one. It's like a fiber optic LED third brake light, but it's going to replace this one. So, first thing you want to do is you want to come up to your hatch, and you're going to want to start here. You want to pry on this part right here, and once you get this tab out and this one, you can come over to this side and start on that one, and then back here, and all this, those two spots where you see these slots right here, here, and there. Once you get to this edge and this edge out, you can just pull both sides at the same time towards you. And it all should come out in one piece like this. And they're all just a bunch of simple plastic black tabs here. So they're not even panel pieces, they're just molded into the plastic. That's the easy part. The hard part would be to get this panel off, because this panel has a lot of these molding tabs. But on this year model, this is a 2014-2016, there's no Phillips screw that needs to be removed. So, in some year model TCs, on this other side, there would be Phillips screws on both sides of these. But with this year model, you don't have to do that. You just need to start from here. You start from there, and you're gonna just have to put some hooch to it and start pulling from these, and then work your way around. But they're all plastic tabs. Now, to get to the actual third brake light, there's a bolt here, there's a bolt there, there's another bolt over here, there's access holes to them. See, this is where the third brake light is. There's two bolts there. There's another bolt here, and then there's four, I don't know if you can see that right there. There's going to be four of those plastic panel pieces. You're going to have to push those out to get this thing, this whole panel out. And then from here, once you remove this liftgate panel, you can pull this thing out. And there's also going to be foam around this piece here. There are some TCs that have some sort of bracket, a metal bracket that holds this thing in for the first generation ones, but the second and the 2.5, which is the 2014, 2016, there are no metal brackets. It's just plug and play. So it would be a lot easier to have some tools or a power drill to zip them out, but I don't have power tools, so fuck me. I'm gonna have to use these things. I believe they're going to be, of course, I got one 10mm missing. I believe they're going to be 9 or 8mm. Let's see. Nope. They're definitely going to be 10. So let me grab extra 10. Sorry, my nose is so stuffy right now, but I'm here in my apartment complex doing this. So we can start here. And this is also where you're going to access the light bulbs for your license plate, but you don't need to remove the whole entire panel to get to it. This is where you access pretty much everything, and the motor to the windshield wiper for the rear. Let's see. And also the bolts up here on the very, very top. Those are what you're gonna get to get to the spoiler. There's 4. There's little access holes here. But I'll be right back once I get this thing unbolted. Alright, I'm back. So, I got this piece removed. It's plastic. So what you're going to need to do is, on this piece, you're going to need to remove this bolt here and this bolt here. And then you're going to need to unplug the connector that goes to this button. So that's how you do that. So if you ever need to get to this button, this is the way you do it, from here. And then I guess that just pretty much just yanks right out. Here's the wire that goes to it. There's a little hole right there. It just goes in right there. So once you get that, you don't need to remove those necessarily, because they just slide into place here with these cutouts. So, but that's how you get to those things. They probably need to be cleaned. They're kind of old looking, but yeah, that's how you get to them. And then from here, you can see there's adhesive foam all underneath here. You're gonna have to pull all this out, and the aftermarket one comes with adhesive foam here on the bottom. So it looks like, you know, those 2 bolts here, and then the connector, and then you should be able to push it out. Be right back when I get that done. Okay, I'm back again, and from what I can see here, this piece, it's got some more trickery to it. but you should be able to just push this out. You may have to try and push it out from there like that, and grab onto it from the outside, pulling it towards you, and then having your other hand kind of support it, pulling it out, and it should come out. What you need to do next is you need to remove this panel bracket here. It's held in by 2 bolts, and then these plastic tabs here and here. What you want to do is just simply remove this, put it on your new one, and then it's all plug and play. I'll be right back once I get this piece off. Okay, to get these to unlatch this bracket, you're going to need a simple pry tool like this, and what you're going to have to do is you're going to have to go in between these two and pry back like this. Get yourself some leverage in between these two, and you're going to pry it open, and then you should be able to slide one side out and get the other side out. So it'll be handy to get a pry tool like this from Olight, but you don't really need that. You can use pliers as well and just get in between here and just kind of pry it open like this. You don't want to break these tabs off, or you might just get rattle from the hatch. And a bunch of these bolts here are just kind of like crush washer style bolts. You will need an extension because it will just help with the clearance, especially with this motor that's in the way here. So get yourself an extension, get yourself some pliers or like a pry tool, and then take your new one. Sorry if you hear a bunch of noise. I live in an apartment complex. But you just take your new bracket, you slide it on here like this. You might want to remove some of the plastic before you do that. And yeah, that's pretty much what you got to go with. I'm going to garbage guys. I'm gonna be right back once they're done. Okay, I'm back. So one little problem with these is that they didn't quite get the molding right on the connector, so you kind of have to wedge it in there, and you might end up breaking or putting a little crack on some parts of this, but it'll connect. And see, it's holding. You're basically just wedging this connector in because the connector here is larger and they don't have quite clean mold lines on this, but it'll work. I already test fitted it and got the light to turn on. So okay, so I'll let you guys see that. There it is. It's working. It is working. Okay. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to install this bracket and carefully pull that back out because it's wedged in there. And yeah, I'll pretty much get everything cleaned up and reinstalled. I'll be back when I get another step in progress done. Alright, so yeah, this was connected, or this is wedged in there so tight. I had to break this open. So be very careful, because I actually broke a little section right there off the connector, but the prongs are still intact. So you might want to get something to kind of pry this open so that you can actually get it on in there. But I don't think once you get them in there, it's gonna go anywhere, because it's already a tight fit. So yeah, it works. Everything works. It's just this hole, it's a little bit too small. But everything checks out. I'll be right back. Alright, so I got it all together. There's a little molding piece here that you should probably sand down. My phone will focus on it. There it is. Yeah. There's a little bit of molding right there. Okay, so then you pretty much just put everything back together. I broke a little tab off this bracket here, but it's okay because these two bolts hold it in place. And then you plug this back in, screw these two back in, and you carefully put these back in on these two sides. If my camera will focus here. No. Well, anyways, you set all this stuff back up. This connector, well, it wants to focus. There we go. Yeah, the plastic tab on one side broke, but these bolts will hold it all in place. And then just carefully line these back up with the yellow panel tabs. And then you pretty much get to this point. And then, yeah, just bolt everything down and pop the panels back into place. Let's see here. Yeah, that's pretty much it.